to Audrey Tiazupol.
That was a really nice throw, really good work against the set defense. Something you always like, something I always like to see coming out of a timeout is the offensive team clearly having a plan and executing it well. It looked as though their Shenanigans came out with a plan and they had 3 quick passes, immediately got right outside the end zone and then just waited patiently until they got that shot. It was nearly a nice hand block by the German defender though, but as you said, a good layout to keep that possession. Germany with a very big squad as well, Sarah, much bigger than the Shenanigans squad. I think Germany are working with three separate lines. They've got 24 players, I believe, having spoken to one of the coaches. It's the first time that they've been able to bring all of their players, all 3 lines, to a tournament, so they're getting some good reps ahead of Euros in 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, so just looking at the standings so far, as you mentioned, Sean, that Germany are in 6th and Shenanigan are in 3rd. With regards to the Swiss draw, there's a 3-point difference between the teams. So in theory, Shenanigans should beat them by 3 points, and that's normal. So having such power position is Datum, and he goes for it. There's a girl poached in deep, and she gets in front of him. Nice observation there from Ebhardt. Knew it was going to come. As I mentioned earlier, the German upwind hucks have just not been on point in this game. Metzler with the disc. Doesn't really see anything. Has to go for a closely contested grab, and great layout D there from Neubert. Put a lot of pressure there on Ebhardt.
Ebhardt pulled at the beginning of this point, and it was an absolutely fantastic pull. I'm still like thinking about that, and then she looked like she was playing deep poach in a zony look from Shenanigans. She's had a good point, but obviously that layout D has tarnished it a little.
I think Ebhardt is just a really great defensive player for the Shenanigans team. I do see more and more mixed teams putting girls deep. I think sometimes they feel like, oh, there's a mismatch, I'm just going to go throw it. But if the girl can get into the right position and stand in the way, then that's also really effective. And we've seen quite a lot of blocks from Ebhardt earlier in the game as well. So I don't dispute that that is a good tactic from Shenanigans. I do really like seeing her in the deep space.
No, she did a good job, read it well, got between the disc and the mark, made him go up early and misread it. But Germany put it away, 5 points down. Do you think they can make a comeback here, Sarah?
They're starting to run out of time. The game will end in about 4 minutes. And as mentioned yesterday, the game will stop after the hooter, so play the points out and it's game over. So Germany are going to need to get a block, well, basically as many blocks as they can, Sean.
As quickly as they can.
As quickly as they can. Ideally, a drop pull would work out quite well at this moment. Maybe a Callahan. Also great for the stream. Also great for us as commentators and the people watching at home.
Do it for the fans. Germany playing 4 women. The real strength of this roster seems to be in their women. So they've been putting out women as often as they can, using their women in key offensive roles.
Big loopy pull coming down. Germany coming out in a zone, which is interesting, seeing as they need to kind of score as quickly as possible. Harris, cheeky little scuba over to Whitmer. Shenanigans just very content with swinging the disc. It doesn't feel like there's anybody on this pitch who doesn't really know how to throw or doesn't feel comfortable with the disc. It's just moved it up very, very quickly between the handlers and the poppers. Harris now in the corner.
I would question the wisdom of this strategy if I was Germany. Like you say, they need to get blocks, they need to get points, and they haven't really generated many turns with this zone. Shenanigans are working it so comfortably.
Well, having said that, there was a near block there from Dumont. Oh, jumps on the line, not in. If Shenanigans see it, there's somebody in the corner totally free. But instead, decides to take the open player on the line. And yeah, I have to agree with you, Sean. I do feel like this is a really odd tactic given the fact they are so far behind. Playing a zone that hasn't really worked for you, and also you're quite far behind. I would only really play the zone if I was actually Shenanigans and wanted to kill some time.
Germany at this point just need to get blocks. You would think that coming out in person and throwing themselves about a bit, trying to get because at this point, like you say, with the game ending like it ends, there's not a cap on the score. You can just basically go all out, concentrate on every point, and if you get scored on, well, it doesn't really matter, you know? So if I was them, I would have come out in person and told everybody just go for the block. We desperately need one. But hey-ho, they come out now on offense, still 6 points down. Shenanigans coming out with a pretty similar line to what we just saw. Bit of an international flavour for the team from Las Vegas. They've got a few pickups. Sam Egan from Ireland, Rich Harris, Russ Harvey, Audrey Tentasopol from all from London, all London-based players. I'm sure other pickups that we're not as familiar with.
Yeah, Shenanigans also had a really good run at Windmill last year. I believe they finished top 8. So well known for being a strong pickup team in this mixed division. Shenanigans hot on the heels of the German cutter. Faradash with the disc. Doesn't really have much choice, but has to swing the disc.
Really intense pressure from Shenanigans on D here.
Totally agree with you here, Sean. Very open cuts there from Becker. A few switches going on downfield. Quite close contention there, but Faradash with the disc again. Germany very close to the end zone now. Klein looking for a cheeky hammer maybe. Doesn't go. German swinging with a lot of power. That's really nice offense in front of the end zone. Great work from Germany.
Yeah, they did a good job there of keeping the disc moving. The Shenanigans pressure was really intense in the German zone half, but they managed to get all the way over to the end zone, and that is a really good break throw to score in the front corner.
So time is starting to run out for Germany. Jingle hasn't gone off, obviously. Had to make some last-minute adjustments for the tournament. TDs have done a fantastic job. Had to make some very, very last-minute changes. We had to move pitch, and schedule had to be changed. But all done really well. Luckily, the irrigation of these fields is actually pretty good. Sure, photos will start to circulate on social media later this week about how much rain there was, but we haven't been lecoed just yet. Done really, really good job. Unfortunately, can't say the same for some of the tents at this tournament.
No, some of the cardboard tents did weather the weather quite well, but some of the larger cardboard tents, unfortunately, did not maintain their structural integrity.
They did not pull through in the night. They did not make it.
They did not, and some of the inhabitants of those tents had a rude awakening early this morning, so it's been a tough day for some people here at Windmill.
So Germany actually get a block here on Shenanigans. So D-line looking to convert their first break of this game. Oh, double coverage. Communication really needed there between Wallace and Wutherinsreich. Shock, big fade. Doesn't really like what he's got, but finds Uch. A little bit clogged now, a bit more stable in front of the end zone. Nothing on the break side, but nice open cut there from Neubert, and that's Germany's first break in the game.
Yeah, Germany's making a slight comeback here. It's very, very late, and they're going to struggle to get back into it, considering they're still 4 points down with not much time, but they needed that. That was a poor throw from Shenanigans, and Germany really took advantage of it. Worked it really calmly, waited for someone was free on the front cone. Nice offense.
So here we see on the replay, Neubert completely free on the open side. So 13-19, bit more of a respectable line. I feel like Germany looking to call a timeout. Sean, completely in disagreement of this tactical decision here.
I cannot believe they've called a timeout with not much time left, and they're 4 points down. This is an absolutely baffling decision.
It looks like they're trying to change their mind. Number 73, Hayden is not quite sure what's going on. As I say, I can't guarantee that the jingle is going to go out on time. Although I do know that they were working on changing the jingle. So it could be that the game finishes in a minute, or it actually already ended. Not quite sure.
Germany have now retracted the timeout after it seems as though a Shenanigans player said there's not long left in the game. So
very spirited there from Shenanigans to say that.
it is, it is. I mean, it's still a little puzzling what's going on here. There's a big congregation of Germans still around the line. People now pointing to their wrists, so clearly aware of the time. Okay, and here we go. Shenanigans are already ready, already lined up.
Yes, been quite. To be honest, given the amount of time that Germany's been on this line, I would actually call this a timeout. This has been quite long. It's longer than the 75-second standard.
Agreed.
Never mind. Each to their own.
Absolutely, I can't believe they were nearly calling a timeout there. That is good stuff. Good stuff. What's happening? Why are Shenanigans coming in now?
So I believe the game is actually meant to have ended now, but the problem is the hooter hasn't gone off.
Oh, I see.
And
the Germans want to play another point, so so they've said to Shenanigans, we want to play it, and Shenanigans are seemingly agreeing. Now, if the Germans score this, the Swiss system says that Germany should lose by 3 points. So if they score this point, that is going to have an actual impact on where they stand in this draw.
Yeah, I wouldn't also be surprised if teams that are on this pitch next have also come up and said, hey guys, we're on now, just to kind of work it out. Obviously, they've got to expect a few blips, given the fact that everything had to change due to the weather. So Shenanigans out on offense. Looking very comfortable with the disc, big fake, but goes for the around flick instead, and whoa, what a grab there from number 23, Kyle Henke, and I think that is game over. So a convincing win there for Shenanigans, 14-9, and Germany with a bit of a points difference. Going to be very interested to see if they're going to survive this in the round robin.
Yeah, I think given the fact that they've lost by 5, it's going to be tough for them to stay in the top 8. We'll obviously see how everyone else has done as well. That's going to have an impact on where they stand, but we could see Germany drop out of the top 8 here. Shenanigans undoubtedly are going to be in at least the top 3. Wouldn't surprise me if they're one of the top 2 seeds going into the quarterfinals. It looks as though the power on the Shenanigans roster, particularly the throws of Eckert and Hayes in that entire game, just forced them forward and meant Germany.
And this was sandwich.
meant Germany just struggled to get back into it. We have been trying to surreptitiously eat, but our camera people have sold us down the river here. You can clearly see that we're eating. So okay. I'm going to move my microphone and
we're going to finish off this game. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you soon. Thanks.
Yeah.